Discover the hidden truth, 7 heartwarming reasons Gen Z's inspiring journey is life-changing. 18-year-old Mia stood at the edge of the community center, her chest tight with the weight of dreams and responsibilities. The autumn sun cast a brilliant golden hue over the small suburban town she loved, with its sip-and-chat diners and neighbors who waved like old friends. Yet, there was a storm brewing not just in the skies above but in her heart. She was determined to highlight the unsung heroes of this tight-knit community, like her single mother, who worked grueling shifts at the diner with calloused hands and a heart full of grit. Her ideas sparked hope, but they felt fragile, clinging to her like cobwebs in the wind. Every day after school, Mia poured her energy into planning the big community event. She envisioned laughter echoing in the streets, families coming together, eyes shining with pride, and neighbors reminiscing about the shared struggles and victories, wrapped in warmth like the knitted blankets Mrs. Dillard made for the local kids. But with every flyer she posted and every meeting she held, Mia felt the pull of her mother's tired eyes, the unspoken fears swirling in their home like leaves caught in a whirlwind. Her mother had sacrificed so much. Could Mia really leave for college, chasing dreams that felt miles away? Why can't you just focus on your studies? Her mother asked one night, the weariness coating her voice like an old record skipping at the saddest part. This event, it's just a distraction. We can give back to the people who've sacrificed for us. Mom, I want to celebrate us. Mia's voice trembled. Silence hung like thick fog. It was moments like this that brought tears to her eyes, but she quickly brushed them away. She couldn't let her dreams die quietly. The closer the event got, the closer the tension felt between them, like a taut string stretched too thin, threatening to snap. Before they knew it, the clouds loomed heavier overhead, lightning glinting as if warning them. An unexpected storm approached. It wasn't just the downpour that haunted Mia. The community center, a place of solace, was at risk, and so was everything she'd worked for. A rift long buried surfaced when Mia learned about the unknown history between her family and the elderly veteran next door, a man who held secrets darker than the approaching storm. His gruff exterior hid a life of service, yet also pain, a living legend now marked with bitterness. She had to talk to him, to face the neglect born from anger and misunderstandings. As rain began to pelt the ground, Rivera's words echoed in Mia's mind, "If we let grudges rule us, we miss the beauty in connections." She'd create a bridge between them, wouldn't she? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Mia's resolve strengthened as she marched up to the veteran's porch, rain soaking her down to the bone. With the storm rolling in, the air pulsed with anxiety, but the moment was now. Would she be able to break through the walls that had divided them for too long? Would they find common ground amid the impending chaos, or would their grievances leap into an angry tempest of words? The answers loomed closer, yet she felt her heart hammers with uncertainty, echoing the storm's drums, daring her to take that first step. Mia raised her trembling fist and knocked on the door. Each bang resonated with her heart, loud and uncertain against the backdrop of thunder rumbling in the sky. She stood drenched, but determination coursed through her veins like the rain cascading down the porch. She was here to face history, to unravel the threads that bound her family to the war-torn stories hidden in the veteran's heart. The door creaked open, revealing Mr. Jennings, the old veteran. His gray hair was wild like the storm outside, and his brow was furrowed, eyes piercing through the rain-soaked gloom. "What do you want?" His voice was gravelly, as if he had swallowed a handful of stones. Mia felt the weight of years in his gaze. "Mr. Jennings," she started, voice shaking less than before, "I'm Mia, your neighbor. I want to talk about the community event and what happened to my family during the war." His brows raised slightly, a flicker of surprise passing through his somber eyes. "Why would you care about that?" "Because it matters," she insisted, her courage igniting as the rain continued to fall, echoing the turmoil inside her. "Our families have been intertwined for so long. We can't keep ignoring it." He scowled, crossed his arms as if that could shield him from memories long buried. "There's nothing worth talking about." But as he turned away, Mia caught a glimpse of sorrow that cracked through his tough exterior. "Please," she pressed, her voice softer now. "The past got us here, but it's the future that matters. If we find out the truth together, maybe it can help heal us." She saw him falter, just for a moment. Then he stepped back, allowing her inside. The sudden warmth was a stark contrast to the chilling raindrops that had soaked her. The walls of his home bore the weight of old photographs and medals, remnants of a life lived in battles, both on the field and in his heart. "What happened?" she asked gently, settling on the edge of a worn armchair as he sank into the couch across from her. Damar. Jennings sighed deeply, allowing silence to stretch between them like the gap from past to present. Then it spilled out a story of brotherhood and loss, of promises made under fire, and the pain that never lingered far away. "Your grandfather, he saved my life," he murmured, looking down as if the weight of the memory was too much. "But he didn't come back. I carried that guilt for years. It tore me apart." Mia's heart sank, heavy with understanding. "And it's been holding both of us captive, hasn't it?" He nodded, barely meeting her gaze. "Yes. But the sins of the past. They're not ours to carry anymore," she interrupted softly. "We can choose how we remember. We can celebrate the sacrifices and create something new together." In that moment, a crack appeared in his armor. The storm outside roared, but inside, a lull fell around them as memories shifted. Mia dared to hope that the connection between their families could become a source of strength. As they spoke, the rain slowed, a gentle patter drumming against the windows. Perhaps, just perhaps, she could turn that bitterness into a bond that brought the community closer not just to each other, but to their shared past as well. The light in Mr. Jennings's eyes began to soften. "Maybe you're right. Maybe there's something we can do." But before he could finish, a loud crash resonated outside, a bolt of lightning bringing them both back to the present. Shadows returned to his face as fear crept back in. What was that? Mia's heart raced. The storm outside was slowly dissolving, but had it brought something else with it? With the winds shifting, what new challenge awaited them? As Mia turned to look out the window, she wondered if uncovering the truth would lead to healing or deeper conflict. Would their newfound connection withstand the tempest still brewing outside? Mia turned anxiously toward the window, her heart pounding as she squinted through the dim light. The rain had slowed, but the world outside remained shrouded in an ominous haze. She could barely make out the shadow of a fallen tree across the street, its limbs twisted and broken. "What was that?" Mr. Jennings asked again, his voice trembling. The storm had revealed a different kind of fear, one that flashed like lightning in his eyes. "Maybe just the storm," she murmured, though uncertainty wrapped around her like a thick fog. Her instinct told her it felt more than that. Just then, the door creaked again. Mia spun around, her pulse quickening. The wind gusted through the crack, sending chills down her spine. "Mr. Jennings, should we check?" she ventured, her voice barely above a whisper. He hesitated but then stood, taking a cautious step toward the door. "A storm can cause all sorts of trouble. It's best to be careful." As he opened the door wider, the darkness outside loomed closer. Mia could see the full extent of the chaos. The neighborhood wasn't just drenched, it was marred by the aftermath of nature's wrath. Broken branches lay strewn about, and debris littered the streets. And that's when she saw it, the unmistakable figure of a woman struggling to lift a heavy branch off a parked car. "Ms. Thompson!" Mia shouted, recognizing the elderly neighbor who often tended to her small garden. Heart racing, she rushed out into the rain-soaked chaos, Mr. Jennings close behind her. "Mia, wait!" He called, but she didn't stop. Purpose pushed her forward. Are you okay? Mia gasped as she reached Ms. Thompson, who was panting heavily, sweat mixing with the rain on her brow. Let me help you. Together, they strained against the weight of the debris. Mr. Jennings joined them, his old muscles working to lift the branch while his gaze flicked worriedly between Mia and Ms. Thompson. The wind howled around them, almost mocking their efforts, but with combined strength, they heaved the branch away from the car, revealing its crumpled form beneath. Oh dear, Ms. Thompson murmured, looking at the damage, her voice laced with despair. That was the only car I could afford. It was then that Mia saw something in Ms. Thompson's eyes, a fire fueled by resilience. We can fix this, Mia urged, glancing at Mr. Jennings. Right? We can organize a help, everyone can come together. We can set up a community day tomorrow. A spark of hope ignited in Mr. Jennings' eyes too. Yes, he nodded slowly, a reluctant smile creeping up. Maybe we could bring the community back together, for something other than grief. But Ms. Thompson shook her head, tears mingling with raindrops. You have no idea how hard it is. And who would come for me? It's too late. No, it isn't. Mia replied, any remnants of doubt pushed aside. Many people care, and it's time we showed that. We can share our stories, our struggles. A sudden rumble of thunder cut her off. The storm was still raging, but she felt something shift in her soul. If we don't face these fears, they'll keep winning. Let's ask for help together. Mr. Jennings placed a reassuring hand on Mia's shoulder. You're right. Sometimes the past feels like a storm, but we can find shelter in the strength we build together. Mia locked eyes with Ms. Thompson, determination blazing between them. Let us do this. Let us create something beautiful out of this mess. As the winds howled angrily, a new battle unfolded within Mia. This wasn't just about the past anymore, it was a call to action, to rally a community and build bridges where once there was only heartbreak, but deep down, Mia knew they were facing more than the storm. What lay ahead was perhaps more challenging than any of them could have imagined. Would they truly be able to come together and heal, or would the pool of history threaten to rise and overwhelm them? The rain was easing, but the turmoil within was only just beginning. Mia stood in the rain, both invigorated and terrified. She stared into Ms. Thompson's eyes, seeking some hint of belief that they could really turn things around. The old woman seemed a little steadier now, hope flickering in her features like a candle fighting the wind. I'll help too, said Mr. Jennings, his brow furrowing with determination. Let me get the others started. You two stay here and check on the damage. We'll need tools, manpower, and maybe some hot coffee to keep spirits up. Mia nodded, a rush of gratitude surging through her. Thank you, Mr. Jennings. As he turned to head back inside, she grabbed Ms. Thompson's arm gently. We can do this together, one step at a time. The elderly neighbor wiped the rain from her eyes, managing a small smile. Just promise me, Mia, you won't leave me alone in this storm. I promise, she replied, squeezing Ms. Thompson's hand. The weight of despair still lingered, but there was new life coursing through them. Together, they walked meticulously around the car, surveying the wreckage. Every broken branch felt like a little defeat, but with each step, Mia focused on the hope gathering inside her. Maybe we can start a fund, or a gathering right here tomorrow, Mia suggested as they began to pick up smaller debris. We could share stories, like you said. People will come if they know they're not alone. Ms. Thompson paused, glancing at Mia with curiosity. You really think they'll show up? I do, Mia replied, her voice steady. I think we've all been waiting for a chance to help, to matter to each other, especially after everything that's happened around here. There was a long moment of silence, the rain finally starting to let up as sunlight threatened to break through the clouds. Ms. Thompson's eyes softened, and for the first time, Mia sensed a hint of joy beneath her worry. All right then, let us see what we can do. As they bent down to clear the debris, they were joined by a group of neighborhood kids armed with trash bags and boundless energy. "What are we doing?" one of them shouted, a spark of enthusiasm igniting the otherwise quiet neighborhood. "We need help," Mia called back, her spirit lifting as she spoke. "We're cleaning up Ms. Thompson's car and then we're going to organize a neighborhood gathering tomorrow." The children cheered and scattered, each grabbing fallen branches and twisted twigs, but not before one little girl, Emily, stopped in front of Ms. Thompson. Her tiny frame was soaked, but her smile was bright. "We'll make it look so nice, Ms. Thompson. I promise." "Oh, sweetie," Ms. Thompson chuckled softly, her heart warming as she felt an unfamiliar warmth. It had been ages since someone had called her Ms. Thompson with such innocence and spirit. Mia stepped back for a moment, absorbing the scene. It hadn't just stopped raining outside, it felt like the storm within was beginning to clear too. Voices and laughter started mingling with the sound of progress. As the neighbors began assembling their efforts, Mia saw familiar faces emerge from beneath the shadows, people who had, until now, kept their distance. The chaos had shaken them awake, and they were beginning to realize that every fallen branch told a story, a shared struggle that connected them all. But it was then, just as she felt the warmth of community forming, that a sudden gust of wind blew through, sending a shiver down her spine. Mia turned, squinting against the brightening sky. In the distance, a shadowy figure stood watching them from the park, someone she couldn't quite recognize. There was something foreboding in the way they stood, just out of reach. Who were they? The storm might have ended, but in that moment, Mia felt a chill of unease swell within her. Tomorrow was meant to be a day of healing, but what if the past refused to stay buried? What if there were truths waiting to be uncovered that could divide them once more? Mia's heart raced as she squinted in the late afternoon light, trying to make out the figure lingering in the distance. The vibrant sounds of laughter and children's chatter seemed to fade into a dull hum as she felt her stomach tighten with worry. "Who is that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, glancing back at Ms. Thompson. The old woman's brow furrowed in confusion, eyes shifting to follow Mia's gaze. "I don't know," Ms. Thompson replied slowly, her voice trembling slightly. "But they don't look like someone we know." Mia swallowed hard, her nerves buzzing like the wind that had just passed through. She didn't want to ruin the fragile moment of hope they were building, but something about the figure felt like an uninvited guest in their blossoming community. "Let us keep working," Mia suggested, forcing a smile. "We can't let anything ruin this." They returned to their tasks, picking up branches and clearing debris, but Mia couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. As the kids played around her, giggles echoing through the sweet scent of fresh earth and wet grass, she concentrated on the warmth of their energy, grateful to see Ms. Thompson smile again. The sun peeked through the clouds, casting a gentle golden light over the neighborhood. The small assembly had gathered momentum. Neighbors were chatting, sharing stories of the storm, their voices becoming bold with each word. Mr. Jennings reappeared with several others, bringing tools with him, ready to fix the damage. "Anyone seen the tree in the Johnson's backyard?" he called out, his voice lively. "Looks like a big one came down over there." Laughter bubbled up, the anticipation of work to be done uplifting spirits. As Mia handed Ms. Thompson a branch, she looked around at their group, a small army of neighbors united by purpose. "Let us set a time for the gathering tomorrow," Mia suggested, scrunching her face with concentration. "We can get a table out front, maybe even a few chairs to bring people together." "Great idea!" Mr. Jennings exclaimed, clapping his hands together. "I can brew coffee and bring donuts, everyone loves that." The neighborhood children squealed with delight at the mention of sweets, scurrying off to spread the word. For the first time in what felt like ages, Mia felt the coolness of doubt begin to melt away in the heat of camaraderie, and yet, the shadowy figure remained etched in her mind, a story untold. She studied the people around her, their animated faces lit with laughter and hope, yet a part of her couldn't help but wonder. What if their joy was a fragile bubble, waiting for the wrong prick to burst it? Just as she was lost in thought, the seemingly strange figure began to move, slowly making its way toward the gathering. Mia's heart quickened again. The closer the figure got, the more familiar they looked. "Hey, who's that?" Emily, the little girl with a bright smile, tugged at Mia's sleeve, pointing toward the silhouette. I think Mia squinted, her breath hitching in her throat. "I think it's Ben from down the street who?" Ms. Thompson asked, a hint of confusion knitting her brows. "Ben," Mia replied, shaking her head in disbelief. "He moved out months ago. Why would he be back now?" The moment felt heavy, adrenaline pulsing through her. As Ben approached, his face illuminated by the fading sunlight, Mia's emotions twisted into knots. Was this a reunion to bring peace, or a ghost from the past that could unravel everything they had just built? Mia turned to Ms. Thompson, her voice barely a whisper. What if he's the one with answers? Would the truth he carried help unite them or threaten to tear apart their new beginnings? Mia's heart raced as anticipation mingled with dread. Mia's breath caught in her throat as Ben drew nearer. He looked different, his hair a little longer, eyes filled with something she couldn't quite place. Hope? Regret? The golden sunlight cast a warm glow, yet the air felt charged with uncertainty, like the calm before a storm. "Hey!" Ben called out, a tentative smile spreading across his face. "I saw the neighborhood coming together and thought I'd check it out." Relief surged through Mia, bubbles of laughter and conversation momentarily rising to the surface again. But doubt followed closely behind. What does he want? She thought, her mind racing. One by one, neighbors turned their attention to him, expressions swinging from surprise to recognition. Mr. Jennings crossed his arms, squinting as if determining whether to embrace or confront the past. "Do you need something?" Mr. Jennings asked, his tone even, betraying nothing. Ben shifted, the uncertainty evident without a word. "I just came back to see how everyone is doing after the storm. I thought maybe I could help out." Mia studied him, her heart a mix of tension and curiosity. "Help out? Or is it something else?" Emily tugged at Mia's sleeve again, whispering, "Do you think he's here to stay?" Mia knelt down to Emily's level, forcing a smile. "Let us just give him a chance." But in her heart, she sensed that the old ties which once held their neighborhood together had frayed during Ben's absence. Could he really mend what was broken? Why now? Mia found herself saying before she thought better of it. The others fell silent, eyes flickering from her to Ben. Ben hesitated. "I needed some time away. I thought maybe I could start fresh here." The silence felt thick. Mia wished she could grasp onto something reassuring. What about all the good memories? She wanted to yell. What about the laughter? The togetherness? Ms. Thompson, sensing the tension, stepped forward, her voice steady. "We're all rebuilding, Ben. The community, well, it survived because we care. But we need to know you care, too." Ben's exterior seemed to crack momentarily beneath her gaze, and Mia noticed a flicker of vulnerability flashing in his eyes. "I didn't realize how much I missed this place and all of you." The honesty was disarming. It pulled at the edges of Mia's heart, where things she thought were lost began to stir. But could he really reconnect with the community he had once stepped away from? "Well, everyone loves donuts." Mr. Jennings interjected, trying to ease the moment. "Let us get back to work." The tension broke as laughter floated around them again. Yet, Mia's heart remained heavy. A mixture of hope and apprehension danced beneath the surface of every smile thrown towards Ben. As they resumed their tasks, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter could either patch wounds or rip them open wider. She resolved to talk to Ben later, to delve into the silence that had passed between them for so long. The sun dipped lower, coloring the sky with hues of pink and orange, and she tried to match the warmth with her own thoughts. Each flicker of hope was laced with uncertainty. But as she moved to grab another branch, she couldn't help but look at him, gauging the sincerity in his expression. But right before Mia could return to her work, she realized, wait, what if he didn't just come back for us? That one thought spiraled in her mind, igniting a question that hung in the air longer than the fading light. What if his return held a truth that could shatter everything they had built together? Mia's heart raced as she stepped away from the group, her mind wrestling with the implications of what Ben's return could mean. She walked a little away from the chatter, her hands brushing against the soft blades of grass. Questions filled her head, but none were louder than the one that had planted itself there: why now? As she pondered that, she stole glances back at Ben. He was talking to Mr. Jennings, gesturing animatedly about how he could help with repairs. The older man remained guarded, but everyone else seemed tentatively softening towards Ben. Their laughter filled the air again, but it felt too bright, too forced for Mia's liking. "Hey, Mia." Emily's voice broke through her haze. The little girl had found a half-broken crayon and was sketching on a piece of paper she had tucked into her pocket. "Look at this. I drew us a house." Mia knelt beside her, absorbing the warmth of the moment. The simple act of drawing a house evoked memories of summers where they played games on the porch, ice cream dripping down their arms, and dreams spilling out like sunshine. "That's beautiful, Em. It needs a big garden too, don't you think?" Now more than ever, the significance of home felt fragile. The people who filled that house, who had once shared everything, now lived as if there were invisible walls between them. Mia's gaze turned back to Ben. The tension had returned with a heaviness. She took a deep breath and made her way towards him, intent on uncovering the truth behind his return. "Ben." Her voice cut through the laughter surrounding him, drawing his attention. The way he looked at her, surprised, caught off guard, sent a flutter through her chest. "Can we talk?" He hesitated, glancing at the group, but then nodded. They moved a bit away from the noise, where the sounds of hammers and laughter faded into the background. The air felt thicker with unspoken words as they stood in a patch of shade under an old oak tree. I just wanted to know why you came back now," she said, straightforward yet cautious. "What do you really want?" Ben's eyes drifted to the ground, a flicker of something she couldn't define crossing his face. "It's complicated. I thought about this place a lot while I was gone. Everything felt unfinished, including us." Mia felt her heart lift a little, but shadows of doubt still lingered. "Unfinished? Did you think leaving meant everything would just wait?" "No. I realized the mistake I made after I left," he replied, urgency creeping into his tone. "I thought time would fix things, but it doesn't. I was lonely. I thought I could come back and be welcomed like before." His honesty tugged at her, pulling down her defenses just a fraction. "This isn't just about you making a decision to come back. We all carried the weight of your absence." "I know," he whispered, meeting her eyes. "I'm ready to help if you'll let me. I want to make this right, with the community, with you." Mia felt the weight of those words between them. It was a chance, but the past echoed between them like a ghost. Did she dare let hope in? "Mia," he began, but just then, a loud crash of laughter erupted sharply from the group behind them. They both turned toward the sound, and Ben seemed to freeze, a glint of anxiety returning to his eyes. What if this is just the beginning? Mia wondered to herself before she spoke again. "Are you ready to face what happens next?" Because before she could finish her sentence, she saw it in his expression, the realization dawning. He wasn't just battling the past, there were layers to his return that remained shrouded in mystery. With emotions still swirling, the question hung between them. What truths lay hidden at the surface of his words? As the laughter faded back to the background, Mia thought, could they brave through the storms together, or would the winds carry new struggles that would tear them apart again? Mia's heart pounded as she stood under the oak tree, facing Ben. The laughter of their friends faded into a soft hum, replaced by the racing thoughts in her mind. It felt dangerous, this conversation, like standing on a cliff's edge. Could she trust him? What do you mean by unfinished? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The words came out sharper than she intended, but she needed clarity. Ben shifted, glancing again toward the group before meeting her gaze. I mean, us. He took a breath, his expression earnest. When I left, I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought I was protecting you, protecting everyone. But I was running away from my own mistakes. I realized too late that I hurt the people I cared about. Mia felt a flicker of empathy, but anger simmered just beneath the surface. You could have reached out, she replied, her voice thick with emotion. We were all left in the dark. I know, he answered, his voice growing softer. I should have tried harder. I thought I could handle it alone. There was a weight in his voice that made her pause. She noticed the way his hands fidgeted, how the lines on his face deepened with each confession. In that moment, she saw remnants of the boy she once knew, but shadows of the past lingered. Ben, it's not just about you, she stated firmly. We moved on. We had to. The words tasted bitter, yet they were necessary. You think returning will fix everything? It doesn't work like that. He stepped closer, his expression unreadable. I don't expect you to forgive me. I need you to know I'm trying. I want to help with the repairs, with the community, every bit of it, because I owe it to you all. He lowered his voice. And I owe it to you. Mia felt a rush of conflicted emotions. The desire to believe him warred against her instinct to protect herself. A part of her wanted to reach out, to touch his arm and pull him back into her life, while another part held her still, afraid to take that leap. Help? She echoed. How can you help when you've been gone so long? Everyone is still healing. I know. But maybe I can be part of that healing. His eyes bore into hers, earnest and searching. If you let me back in. To be a friend again, to, whatever this is between us. Mia's throat felt tight, and she fought back tears. The prospect of rebuilding felt daunting. Could they piece together something that felt real? And what if it's too late, Ben? She asked, vulnerability creeping into her words. What if we can't go back? I'm not asking to go back, he replied, his voice thick with emotion. I just want a chance to move forward together. But if you don't want me around, if you can't trust me, I'll respect that. She glanced over his shoulder at their friends, laughing and chatting, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing between them. Would this ever feel normal again? I don't know, she finally admitted. I want to believe you, but trust isn't easily rebuilt. As the words left her lips, the distant laughter echoed like a reminder of everything that had changed. Ben took a step back, hurt and determination mingling in his eyes. Just think about it, Mia. I'll be around. I need to earn your trust, and I will. No matter how long it takes. Mia watched him walk away, the distance between them stretching like the shadows of the setting sun. The longing for what once was danced with the fear of what could come. Were they on the brink of something new, or would the past crush them under its weight? As she turned to rejoin the group, a chill filled her. What if some wounds were too deep to mend? The question hung heavy in the air, but one thing was clear: Ben had opened a door, and she could either step through it or shut it forever. What would she choose? Mia rejoined her friends, but their laughter felt far away, like a haunting melody she couldn't quite connect with. She latched onto a smile, nodding as they chatted about silly stories from the past. It was a superficial facade, and deep inside, her mind replayed Ben's words like an old record player stuck on a single groove. Hey, you okay? Jess asked, noticing the slight frown etched across Mia's face. You seem distracted. Yeah, I'm fine, Mia replied, forcing a smile. But the weight in her chest told a different story. Jess raised an eyebrow, unconvinced but not pushing further. They moved to the center of the yard, where the strings of fairy lights created a magical ambience around them. The sight should have lifted Mia's spirits, but the glow only highlighted her tangled emotions. Should she really give Ben a chance? Would it lead to more heartache or something beautiful? The group split up for games, and Mia half-heartedly joined a round of charades. She laughed along but felt like she was acting, her heart wasn't in it. While her friends shouted guesses, she stole glances towards the oak tree, half expecting to see Ben still standing there, lost in thought. But he was gone now, lost somewhere in the crowd, possibly back outside of her life once more. "Your turn," someone shouted, jolting her back to the moment. Mia feigned enthusiasm, mimicking a chicken and causing a barrage of laughter, but the sound felt hollow. What was she doing? She grabbed her drink and stepped away, needing a moment to breathe. Sinking down onto a nearby bench, she pulled her phone from her pocket. There were messages from her friends, memes, and funny gifs, but nothing felt right. With a sigh, she opened her messages, staring at Ben's name lingering at the top. What if he truly meant it? What if he could be someone worth trusting again? Deciding she needed clarity, she typed out a message, just short enough to keep it casual but long enough to convey her tangled emotions. "Hey, can we talk later? I need some time to process everything." It felt like a leap into a dark unknown. Seconds ticked by that felt like hours as she waited for his reply. She noticed the party continuing around her. The sun was setting, bathing the backyard in warm hues, yet all she felt was cold uncertainty. Finally, her phone buzzed. "Of course. Whenever you're ready. Just let me know." His response was simple, yet every word struck a chord within her. He would wait. Could she really take that leap? Suddenly, she was pulled away from her thoughts by a playful shove from Jess. "Come on, we need you. Or I might win this round without you." Her friend's laughter was infectious, pulling Mia back into the moment, but she held on to that phone message like a lifeline, a thread connecting her to the chaos of her feelings. As the games continued, Mia found herself stealing glances at her friends, watching their joy and connection. For the first time in a long while, she started to wonder about her own happiness. Could Ben be a part of that? As twilight settled in, the air heavy with laughter and the scent of summer blossoms, she made a decision. Maybe it was time she let someone back in. But where would that lead? A small flicker of hope ignited within her, but as she stood up to rejoin the group, she caught a glimpse of Ben walking back into the party from the edge of the yard, his gaze locking onto hers. Her heart raced, a balance of fear and excitement. Could she actually face him? The knot in her stomach tightened. She had opened the door. But was she ready to step through? Mia held her breath as Ben approached, the golden hues of dusk casting a warm glow over the gathered neighborhood. Yet, it felt like they were standing on opposite sides of a wide chasm in that moment, a divide filled with memories, regrets, and unspoken words. Everything around them blurred slightly, voices and laughter faded into a dull murmur. She felt her heart race, anticipation swirling with uncertainty, stirring feelings she was just beginning to confront. "Hey," he said gently, stopping a few feet away from her. His expression was a blend of hope and vulnerability, much like her own. "I noticed you stepped away. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." Mia darted her gaze down, gathering her thoughts. It was now or never. It's just everything is so complicated now. I don't know if I can trust you. You left without saying anything. The weight of her words hung in the air like the faded light around them. Ben's face paled at the confrontation, but there was no anger, only acceptance. "You're right. I didn't think about how it would affect you or anyone else. I was selfish. But I want to be better. I want to be part of this community again, to help rebuild what I broke." Mia lifted her gaze then, searching his eyes for sincerity. "You think you can just walk back in and fix everything with a few good intentions?" "I don't expect to fix everything just like that," he replied, his voice steady. "But I want to try. I need to earn your trust back if you'll let me. There was something in his plea, a genuine desire to start fresh, that softened the hard edge around her heart. Memories of laughter, shared secrets, and the ease of friendship flooded back in. Could it be possible there was still room for them to navigate this? I don't want to go back, she said, forcing the truth through tight lips. But I want to move forward. His expression brightened, hope flickering in his dark eyes. Then let us make a plan, he said, glancing toward the cheerful bustle of the gathering. Help with the repairs, organize events, we can start it together. Create new memories. The edges of her lips turned slightly upward as a mix of disbelief and excitement danced inside her. You mean it? You'd really want to do this? Absolutely, Ben affirmed, a smile breaking through his serious demeanor. It starts with small steps, right? Let us make this community even stronger than before. At that moment, a wave of laughter erupted from nearby, drawing their attention. Mia felt the warmth swell inside her. The community had come together amidst the storm, it felt alive, vibrant, just like the friendship she yearned to feel once again. Okay, she said, feeling her heart thaw. Let us start with tomorrow's gathering. If the neighborhood can show up for Ms. Thompson, for the repairs, then we'll have a good foundation to build something new on. Ben nodded eagerly, a genuine grin stretching across his face. The worry lines around his eyes began to fade. And I'll bring those donuts, he joked, gesturing to the lit-up table that awaited them. Deal. Mia laughed, feeling lighter than she had all day. As they began to walk back toward the laughter and community, renewed hope and a sense of camaraderie settled in her chest. The shadows of the past, though still present, were no longer anchors holding them down. Together, they could choose the paths ahead. The weaving of their stories ahead was sometimes uncertain, but hope had taken root. Hey, Mia, Ben began, then paused. I'm really glad you're giving me a chance. It means more than you know. She glanced over at him, feeling the pulse of something hopeful and new sparking between them. It's time for new stories, Mia said gently, her voice unwavering. As night enveloped the community in a blanket of stars, surrounded by laughter, stories, and shared struggles, Mia felt a wave of warmth wash over her. Old wounds were being transformed into something beautiful, a promise of healing, connection, and perhaps, a chance for friendship anew. Mia! Emily called out, running toward her with a handful of crayons, bursting with energy. Are we really having a gathering tomorrow? I can't wait. The pure enthusiasm in the young girl's voice set off a ripple of joy, bringing Mia back to the present, reminding her of what was truly important: the unity and support of those around them. And in that moment, the shadows receded a little more, making way for light, laughter, and the promise of tomorrow. Mia beamed, ready to embrace whatever came next. And so, with their community a mosaic of struggles, laughter, and new beginnings, no storm could dim the light they were building together. With renewed conviction, Mia shouted to the gathering, "Let us make tomorrow beautiful." And amidst the laughter and cheers, she knew they were all ready to face whatever storms life would throw their way together. Now, as the chapter of this journey closes, it is crucial to remember the power of community, unity, and transformation. So, listen folks. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like right now to feed that algorithm. Every bit helps. Don't wait not even one more second to share this story with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support matters more than you know. Let's keep this journey going together.